I went to the fragrance counter this morning looking for the Gucci Guilty ELIXIR de Parfum, released in 2023. I picked it up and paid full retail right then once I spread it on my hands. I can still smell it. Let's see if this one right here will also surprise you. Many enthusiasts are completely tired of the elixir fad, and I get their point. However, with the exception, of course, the prices, usually an elixir will cost you in the neighborhood of 200 US, 140 to 200 for a mere 2 ounces. I mean, that's a steep price for something that small. But I personally am really enjoying the elixir surge, as it gives me, not always, but often, a more saturated fragrance, and it seems like the perfumers are trying just a little bit harder to give us a true elixir. Like in Sauvage, Dior Sauvage Elixir, really fabulous fragrance, worth its price. Or Ralph's Club, the Elixir, fabulous fragrance, really enjoy this one, the best out of the 2 predecessors it has. Or the Jean Paul Gaultier one, this elixir. I mean, great bottle, great smell, a great addition to the Elixir Club and to the La Mer Club. Really wonderful. So Gucci, why not? Here we are, 2023, and there's a new release, ELIXIR de Parfum, this one right here. Now, to be fair, I haven't spent a lot of time with it at all. Just today, really. And at the time of this recording, we're about 7 hours into the elixir. It was my scent of the day. So 7 hours is what I got out of this one. And yes, I can still smell it 7 hours later. Also, it is noteworthy to say that this one right here garnered me 2 compliments, unsolicited. One from a lady at lunch, and the second one from my wife, which counts as double, if you know what I mean. Okay, I see you guys getting antsy. Let's take a look and give this new Quentin Bish and Natalie Gracciacchetto fragrance a couple of sprays. The flacon is 60 milliliters or 2 fluid ounces, as you see right here. It's the same color, just like the box. Actually, it looks a little bit neon as the light hits it. It's quite bright. And it does, to me, it feels like I've been to the cleaners just a little bit because it feels kind of small. It's a tiny little bottle, 2 fluid ounces. It's very thin. It's about half the size of the original or the other flacons from the Gucci Guilty line. I mean, it's pretty tiny. And, like I said, it feels like I've been to the cleaners just a little bit. It feels like for 80 bucks, an ounce, since this is 2 ounces, and I paid about $155 for it, they could have at least given you a little bit of a heavier glass and make it look a little bit more like an elixir instead of just the same bottles. I mean, don't you agree? But let's give it a couple of sprays, 1 or 2. Let's see. Nice. Right off the top, as I smell this, it's going to be a slight and soft greenness combined with a sweet floral fruitiness, and it's all very, very light. The fruit note is super light in this one. It does have a little slight green touch to me. There's also some warmth that I get from this one. A little bit of spice, and it smells very, very familiar. It's almost as if we know what this is already. It's almost kind of like maybe a powdered milk or combined with some warm florals and some cozy, cozy spice. Now, this fragrance to me does smell a little bit feminine, but there is something in here that keeps it on the masculine side. Do I think that this one could be worn by men and women? Absolutely. I think pretty much anybody can wear it. Let's look at the notes listed. So what I pick up from the very beginning, I pick up some warmth, some spices. I feel a little bit of a fruitiness, definitely some florals, and a little bit of a milky vibe. Very, very, very smooth, combined with some warm florals and spice. And like I said, it is a little bit on the feminine side, but there's a note in here, something that keeps it a little bit on the masculine side. So let's give it another spray and then look at the notes. Here we go. So at the top, we're going to have orange blossom, nutmeg, and pimento. Well, that's definitely where the cozy came from, the nutmeg. In the belly, there are going to be notes of orris root and osmanthus. The orris root is going to lend the fragrance light tones of violet and just a bit of earthiness due to the fact that the orris root is a root. The osmanthus flower will give the fragrance sort of a sensuous, kind of creamy nuance, much like the apricot fruit, which is where the fruit comes from the very beginning. In the base, we will have vanilla. There's also some benzoin, which is a vanilla-like resin, double vanilla basically. Also, you will have some patchouli, which gives this elixir a bit of earthiness and a soft woody nuance. There's also listed the note of ambrofix. My understanding of this note is that it keeps it all together and adds some additional warmth, sometimes the nuance of wood and leather. And as this fragrance dries down on my hand, since it's been on here for a long time, it is definitely going to get a little bit deeper and the freshness kind of evades, which is what happens to a fragrance as it dries down. But it still smells fabulous on my hand. Actually a nice dry down, very cozy, very comfortable. Online, ELIXIR de Parfum is creating somewhat of a conundrum. I looked at it and see what people say. Since it does remind people, a little bit of some familiar fragrances. Same thing to me. When I first smelled it, I was like, what does it smell like? At first I was thinking it smells like Creed's original Santal. It has sort of that denseness in there. But then I compared them at home together and like, no, not really. And then, some people say it reminds them of Pegasus by Parfums de Marly. And I can kind of see that a little bit too, but not really. Then everybody has sort of their own, familiarity with this fragrance. As far as I can tell, there's only a slight similarity with these fragrances. Like Amouage Reflection Man, I can kind of see that. Pegasus, kind of a little bit from Parfums de Marly, but only kind of, not really. Another little note, I don't quite like it as much on the strip as I do on my skin. It smells a lot better on my skin. It stays warmer, it stays cozier. On the strip, not so much. One thing is for sure though, no one thought that Gucci would throw in a flanker from the left side like this Gucci Guilty Elixir. Furthermore, I really like it, and I will be wearing this one quite a bit in the fall throughout the spring. It's a little bit of a deeper fragrance, perfect for the cooler weather. Let me know what you think about this one once you get your nose on it. See if you thought anything about it like I did. I really like it, and I think it is a right direction for the Gucci Guilty line. So don't forget to like and subscribe. I would love to have you on board. Remember, our fragrance journey begins with but one single scent. Until next time, take good care of yourself. Always smell nice, and I will talk to you soon.